So everyone can continue to keep eating. We're gonna do another PowerPoint, and I'm told you may not know who I am. I'm Dave's brother. If you didn't see the resemblance.
Favorite brother.
So please just keep eating, and we're going to go over a couple things since it's Dave's birthday. We thought we'd do something a little different and hopefully entertaining. And what we're going to do is give you that didn't grow up with Dave, those of you that were lucky enough not to grow up. Anyway, a glimpse into his early life, a little bit of this is your life kind of format. However, if you're familiar with the TV show, they had a budget. We didn't have a budget, so we don't have old classmates or former school teachers, etc. We're going to do this just kind of a slideshow presentation, kind of Jackie Vernon style, if that means anything to you. So get comfortable. This may take a while, and I may never be able to poke fun at people's wedding reception and how long it lasted.
I still love you, but you are a loser.
So with apologies to Ralph Edwards and Jackie Vernon and Dave. Dave Elzinga, this is your life. I'm not sure why, but we're starting with Dave during his porn star years. I feel actually morally inclined to give you a warning. Many of the following pictures, well, they're disturbing. Okay? If you didn't grow up in the 60s or the 70s, the hair and clothing styles may shock you a bit. So if you need to cover your eyes, feel free to do so. All right, Dave was born exactly 70 years ago, actually an hour and a half ago, 70 years ago. June 8th, 1954, to very humble beginnings, as seen here at the hospital where he was born. Actually, he was born on a Tuesday at Bronson Hospital in Kalamazoo, Michigan, at approximately 8 o'clock, and the first child of Jan and Bob Elzinga. Wow. The middle name of Wayne comes from his father, who also shares that same middle name. Interesting fact about Dave is that he was delivered by his aunt's father, Dr. William Hobeck, who I believe was responsible for delivering 4 of the individuals in this room.
Wow.
Dave, his 2 brothers, and 1 of his cousins. So I'm assuming the friends and family discount was fairly significant for the LGBT. Dave weighed 10 pounds, 5 ounces at birth. So a collective ouch for Jan. And here is the earliest picture we could find of Dave. Oh no, that's not Dave. Jan and Bob brought Dave home to their place on Village Street in Kalamazoo. And over the next few years, the family moved around a bit to Long Branch, New Jersey, and Blue Ridge Summit, Pennsylvania, as Bob completed his military obligations. Eventually, the family returned to Kalamazoo. It's cute. Where in 1955, Jan and Bob welcomed their second son, Steve, to which Dave is quoted as saying he struggled with his new brothers, as they broke up, in his words, the dream team of Mom, Dad, and Dave. So more pictures of the 4 of them. Look at those cuties. Eventually,
Those are presidents.
eventually Dave was blessed.
You were president. You were president.
Dave and Steve. But eventually, Dave was blessed, and I'm not sure there's any other word other than blessed, with a second brother, Tom, in 1958, which brings us to approximately Dave Elzinga in the 60s. I think CNN also did a documentary on the same subject. So in May of 1960, the family moved to Wynwood Road in York, Pennsylvania, where it's fair to say Dave spent the 60s. Quaint little place, 327 Wynwood Road. In York, Dave slips into truly the quintessential 1960s childhood. Dave begins attending Yorkshire Elementary and eventually York Suburban Junior High. While not a scholar, and this is from someone who loves him. Dave proclaims his grades were adequate. I'm not sure, but Mom and Dad might remember things just a little bit differently.
Do you have a history report card?
But it was the 60s, and Dave found himself living that 60s childhood. Comic books, Mad Magazine, the Beatles, trying to find Dad's hidden Playboys,
Very successfully.
ping pong, kickball, Cub Scouts, classic TV shows such as Lost in Space, The Time Tunnel, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and vacations back in Michigan. Like many backyards in York, Dave's also doubled as whatever playing field was in season, as there were countless sporting contests, including a lot of home run derby games, as again, like everyone in York, Dave also played Little League Baseball. Where, despite the homegrown coaching, and I'm trying to be nice here, Dave never quite achieved stardom on the diamond. But he always looked good in his uniform, and the bottom of his cleats were always clean.
That matters.
All right, let me pause for just a moment to mention that again, due to budget constraints, we were not able to collaborate much of the information being presented here. We are basing many things on a series of hard-hitting interviews that Dave gave some years later. Maybe some of you remember them. To continue, Dave, like all of us, had those years as a child where the ears don't fit, or you're missing your front teeth, or worse, you have to put up with younger brothers to get a hold of your picture.
You did that. That's awesome.
I really want to comment on the tie, but Dave still wears it, so. That's a bolo.
Is that Cub Scouts? Who knows?
Eventually, though, like all of us, Dave begins to outgrow those awkward looks. His front teeth come in, and well, you know, he's actually kind of handsome in those junior high years. Did I say handsome? Maybe debonair. Eventually, the 60s ended, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention two other items about Dave from the 60s. First, his musical career. Dave played the trombone in junior high and was in the bell choir at church. And also, while in York, Dave began to play tennis, which brings us to Dave Elzinga in the 70s. As the 60s are closing, so is the marriage of Dave's parents. Jan and the boys eventually leave York and spend a summer with Jan's sister Dorothy and her similarly aged 6 boys at Lake Fenton in Michigan. Yeah, 9 boys under one roof living on a lake. Just let your imaginations run a bit and you might get close to what it was really like.
Best summer ever.
During that summer, which as Dave just said, was one of his best summers ever, Dave spends a lot of time water skiing, and as he has self-reported, had his first boy-girl kiss. Although, I'm guessing like the kiss, he has remained closed mouth about with whom. He had all boy cousins, so we know it wasn't a cousin. So.
Well, you don't know.
Now you know. After the summer in Lake Fenton, Dave settles with his family back in Kalamazoo at 1904 East Court Street, less than 5 miles from Village Street, where he lived after being brought home from the hospital. Dave enrolls at Laurie Norris High School, where he continued his adequate level of educational achievement. But with his background and talent, makes the tennis team at Newark, which is no small feat, as Newark is generally regarded as a tennis power in the state of Michigan. Through his connection to the tennis team, Dave begins to develop friendships that have lasted until this day.
No way.
That was our 50th high school reunion.
Here's a picture. Please don't steal my thunder. Don't steal my thunder. Here's a picture from 2 years ago when Dave hosted a get-together with his friends from high school the night before their 50th high school reunion. And in fact, later this summer, this group will all be gathering in Kalamazoo for a collective 70th birthday bash. Just FYI, if you're so inclined, there's already been a GoFundMe set up to assist with any necessary bail or water. Seriously though, if you know Dave, you already know that he's a large part of the glue that keeps this group together now into their 70s. Before I continue, let me point out the obvious. Dave is part of a group of clones known as the And as such, he shares a similar facial trait. I really didn't think it would get that big a laugh. I don't see it myself. He's also part of the age-old question. Living in Kalamazoo has also allowed Dave and his brothers to develop special relationships with their grandmother, who, as you can see here, she never missed an opportunity to lovingly make fun and annoy her grandson. Wait, I might have that reversed. It might be that we lovingly annoyed and made fun of her, but she loved every minute of it. All right, back to high school.
Oh, I love the form.
Well, I have backaches now.
Where Dave continues to hone his tennis skills, and after attending senior prom with a certain celebrity,
She liked tennis. Yeah, right. I know.
Dave graduates from Laurie Norris in June of 1972. There, my hair.
I had a little more hair left.
Following graduation, Dave enrolls at Western Michigan University, but only for a semester, as he was not quite ready for college. So he concentrates on his tennis which of course leads to his surprising win in 1975. In addition to his tennis, Dave worked for a year at a factory in Kalamazoo before returning to Western Michigan University full-time while living at Hotel Mom. The college life includes working at Burger King to pay the bills and coaching his mother's softball team. One of the more valuable lessons Dave learns during this phase of his life is that when your mother is pitching on a team you are coaching, you should never, let me repeat that, never pull her even if she's having a bad game. Dave will tell you, just don't go there, it's an important life lesson.
Thomas, too soon.
Sorry about that. Dave graduates in 1976 with a bachelor's degree in economics from Western. And I'm going to stop there. Even though I know we hear a lot of economic jokes, I got a good one. And I know that economics jokes is an oxymoron, but that's not the joke. Here we go. How many economists does it take to change a light bulb?
How many?
None. It will get done by the invisible hand.
From our son.
That's from my son.
The economist?
Yes. All right, back to Dave. Following his graduation, the job market is not quite ready for his unique set of skills. So it's back to the factory and extended stay at Hotel Mom until the fall of 1977, when he decides to pursue his MBA and enrolls at Michigan State University. Go Green. Despite having to live under the huge shadow his youngest brother cast over the Michigan campus, the 2 years Dave was in East Lansing were two of the best years of his life. I'm pretty sure it was the fact that we were living so close to each other, but there just might have been another major factor, as living in the same dorm as Dave was a young lady named Larissa. So that's all the time I've been allocated to get you through the 70s. And Dave has prepared a little bit more, if I can find it here. Let's see. Will this start by itself, Dave? Good. So this should hopefully bring us up to date.